Oh, wonderful. Okay, tell me your name and who you're with.
My name is Ian Fisk, and I'm the executive director of the William James Foundation.
William James Foundation. Now, is that like a name that you just thought sounded very exotic or important, or is this an important
Okay, so there's three parts to the name.
name?
There's William James, there's Foundation.
Right.
Okay, is not entirely important, but we just put it on there because otherwise it gets, it's one of those legal form things.
Right.
We'll get to Foundation in a moment because that's the most confusing part. William James is an American philosopher. We're named for the gentleman, brother of the novelist Henry James, and he came of age during the American Civil War. And he did a lot of writing around expanding the ways you can be of service to your community. So you can be of service. Yeah. Three ways you can
thank you for your service.
Yes.
Right.
There are three ways you can be of service: on top of your job, instead of your job, or through your job.
On top of your job, instead of your job, or through your job.
So most people are of service to their communities on top of their job. They volunteer, they work through their
So on top means in addition.
Right.
Yeah.
For most people, this is fantastic, and it's a luxury.
Right.
Being of service instead of your job, as you might imagine, is an even greater luxury, limited to the very, very few. So we are dedicated to increasing the number of opportunities where people can be of service to the communities they have to be of service to. Your children, your parents. If you're in the middle, perhaps your landlord, right? There are debts we owe, whether we want to or not. And the communities we want to be of service to. Those might be environmental, they might be our hometown, they might be ethnic, they might be around a certain social issue. Many of us would be happy to give if we could afford to. And there are a lot of wonderful organizations where you go to work and you feel like you are making the world a better place in a way that's important to you, and you're making a paycheck and a living and contributing to society in those ways. The foundation part, we are an operating foundation. That means we're a 501c3 public charity, just like the Red Cross or your local homeless shelter.
Doing stuff instead of just raising money. Yeah.
I give away people's expertise, so like you. So last year we arranged, coordinated, and facilitated. Those three words mean more or less the same thing. About $700,000 worth of people. About $700,000 worth of people's time.
So you give away $700,000 of people's time to help them better their community in some way.
Specifically to work with entrepreneurs. So this is the folks we work with. We work with entrepreneurs who are starting companies that are going to make the world a better place. They've built a social or environmental goal into how they make money.
So here's the term I was thinking of using recently was how to have fun making money and make America better.
We work worldwide, but we'll take it. We'll take that. Yes.
So you do that worldwide.
Yes. So we
$700,000 worth
of people's time
services to people.
So we have a pool of judges. These are folks who have built, managed, or invested in multiple bottom line
judges,
companies.
Not meaning
not legal judges. Mentors.
Right. Mentors.
Okay. Folks who review business plans and provide feedback.
I see. Oh, that's terrific.
So if an entrepreneur, if you have an idea, and you want to start a company, or maybe you're a couple of years in and you want to grow it. Like there's a lot of people who are good enough to get the company to a certain point on the basis of their own hard work and charisma, but they've hit a stopping point, right? And you have a social or environmental goal that's part of how you make money. Maybe you're hiring people who can't traditionally find work, the disabled. Maybe you're doing some sort of clean tech, clean energy project. Maybe you're working with ex-cons on a reentry. Imagine
doing a 7-Eleven is not in your okay.
If you can imagine a nonprofit with the same goal, right?
Yes.
But you're trying to do it within a for-profit structure.
That's what I believe how you should use capitalism.
Capitalism is neither good nor evil. It's just there, and we should use it.
Right.
Now.
And you don't have to beg.
Right. So one of my taglines is no margin, no mission. Right. So if you want to accomplish a social goal, you have to break even plus the rainy day fund.
Right.
Now, once you reach that point, what you do with any excess money that you make is your call.
Right.
Some people don't need any excess money after that point, but everybody, if you're building a for-profit.
But you're not there to make that judgment for people.
It's their call.
Right.
But their goal, if we're going to work with you,
I see.
You have to have a social or environmental goal as part of what you do.
Right.
Otherwise, our nonprofit status would be kind of awkward.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
Well, also, it's our personal mission, right? Yeah. This is why those of us, Chuck and John and I founded this.
Yeah.
This is our mission, is to help people who want to make the world a better place through their business. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people we work with are passionate about their expertise. Mm-hmm. They're really good at hiring women in Iraq, turning algae into fuel, working with ex-cons into stable jobs. But they're new to growing a for-profit business. We also get some folks on the other side who are seasoned entrepreneurs and who have reached a point in life where they want to start giving back.
Right.
And the way they know how to do it is through business, but they don't know how to. People talk about the multiple bottom line.
Yes.
So integrating social and environmental, measurable social and environmental goals into the third goal.
Well, I say the multiple bottom line for those people. I just learned this, recently too. So besides making a profit for your company, it's the employees' profit and the community profits. And what's the first?
People,
the customers.
Customers.
Customers and the world. Yeah. So everybody profits, not just the investors.
Well, the multiple is that a single bottom line company, a traditional company, is measured by the bottom line. Mm-hmm. Do you make money? For a multiple bottom line company, and some people say double or triple, now you split out social and environmental. You are measuring other achievements. Mm-hmm. So some companies measure their carbon footprint. Some companies measure the number of long-term jobs you create. People talk about, well, all job creation is socially valuable. I grew up in a tourist trap. The unemployment rate where I grew up in August was 0.5 of 1%.
Wow.
The unemployment rate in January was 0.5 of 100%.
Wow. So
creating an extra job in August was useful for that person, but wouldn't really pass our smell test as to its social value. Right. Creating year-round stable jobs in a community with massive unemployment 8 months of the year would. Right. And so that's the kind of entrepreneurs we work with. We have a number of programs. The main program we work with is our Sustainable Business Plan competition.
Oh, business plan. That's really wrong. Okay. The competition, the business plan. Okay. So how does that work? How do people get involved?
So this is our 10th year. Mm-hmm.
10 years. Wow.
So what happens is...
How many people have, over these 10 years?
We've had about 700 companies.
Wow.
And we work with at the moment, we have about 700 judges. The fact that those two numbers are similar is totally... Next year it'll be 1,000 companies and about 800 judges. It just so happened that the numbers of the graph is crossed. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. We started out just working in DC, and then we went national, and now we've gone international. And what happens is first you submit a 2-page summary of your business, and everything's on our website, williamjamesfoundation.org.
I'll put that on.
And then by November 5th, by 5 p.m. USA Eastern Time. And then for the next week, our staff will sit down with a pile of these submissions.
2 pages.
2 pages. Yeah. We also have a number of partner organizations that do different work for the same kind of entrepreneurs, that an application to them also counts as an application to us.
See.
The Unreasonable Institute, Hub Ventures, Village Capital, Agora Partnerships.
These are all organizations that work with these kind of...
Yes, it's called impact investing. So these are all organizations that work more intensively with fewer people. Mm-hmm. We're well connected in our industry because we work with a broad group of people. We spend maybe 10 to 20 hours with each company we work with, whereas some of these other organizations, it's a more traditional accelerator. You live there for 6 weeks. But we feed people into these other organizations. So we take the applications.
When you say you provide, the $700,000 worth of consulting last year, was that through the competition or also?
Let me explain how it works.
Okay.
There is additional, but the main part is through the competition. So we submit you submit the 2-pager, and the 2-pager, there's no feedback on that. It's just an application.
Right.
But there are 4 questions I want to know, and only 4. And this is your basics of your elevator pitch. What is the problem you're solving? Why are people paying you for this? What is the value?
Right.
Sometimes people have a understanding the difference between, you sell books, right? That's the thing you do.
Right.
But the value of that book is giving people access to information. Right. The third is, why is your team the people to do this? And the fourth is, what is your social or environmental value? All the other questions on the application are things like name, phone number, they're all, So very simple. And then we will on November 12th, we have an event in Washington, D.C. at the World Resources Institute, which we will announce that a certain number of companies have been accepted. And some will be accepted on scholarship, meaning that there'll be no fee. Mm-hmm. Some will be accepted on subsidized fees, meaning that it's between $100 and $250 to apply. It costs us about $1,000 in time. Because remember, we spend 10 to 20 hours on each. But as a nonprofit...
10 to 20 hours on the initial application or afterwards?
I'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you can cut to the parts you want. I'm going to lay it out in chronological
order. It goes out.
And then you'll,
right. My brain is just bouncing around.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
It's unfortunately...
They told me that in school all the time. Matthew, wait.
Yeah. So once we've accepted the companies, so we'll accept between 50 and 200. And the number we accept is based on, frankly, how much money I have raised from my donors by the 1st of November. We have a board meeting, and I go to the donor. I go to my board and I say, "These are amazing companies. I'd love to work with them." And my board would say, "How much money do you have?" But we would still accept. We'll probably do 50 or 100 this year. They are invited to submit a business model, which is a 5 to 8 page document. It's described on our website.
So the application fee is first? No
fee. No fee to apply.
Oh, no
Once
fee to
you
apply.
are accepted,
then the fee.
Then if you, because we have the feedback rounds. There's 4 rounds.
Okay, 4 rounds.
Let me start this again.
Ding.
4 rounds. First round, November 5th.
Right.
No fee.
2
pages only.
2 pages.
No feedback.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, no fee, 2 pages.
Right, and I'll send you all the web pages that have this listed out. If you are accepted, and you'll find out on November 12th, you are invited to the business model round. This is 5 to 8 pages long. Here is where you pay the fee. And the fee could be 0. The fee could be...
$100 to $200 or something like that.
100 or 250. There's 2 categories. Depends on whether you're looking for investors or not. Or there are a number of people that basically normally... Their plans are good enough. We would like to accept them. We only have so much money. But if they pay what it actually costs us, then we're perfectly happy to.
Gotcha.
We understand that most of the people who apply to us can't afford the $1,000, and we're sorry about that. And if our donors would like to help us offer a subsidized fee to everybody, we do want to charge.
That's a great.
Well, we do want to charge something. Because people should have a vested interest. But we feel 100 to 250.
I would give my stuff all away for free because I believe it so much. But
you want people to actually. You want people. So the 100 to 250 range is for they have an interest. $1,000 is what it actually costs, right? In our staff time. Then each business model, which is what we call the short plan round, is sent out to 10 or 15 different judges.
Wow.
Who are chosen for a deliberate diversity of background, marketing, finance, operations, so that I have folks who are expert in a wide range of things. So I don't have one you. I have 700 people that together may or may not be you, right? Although I don't think any of them drive.
They may have this.
Yeah, the gentlemen and the women from India are probably. I've seen some of their outfits. And they. And we average about 20 pages of feedback per plan per round.
So per plan, 10 to 15 people getting it. You're not getting 20 pages
from each judge. No, you're getting a total. You're getting about 2 pages from each judge. Right. And the judges are volunteers. So when I say you're assigned to 10 or 15, 8 to 12 of them will actually return their scorecards.
Right. Exactly.
And then the rest, most of the rest,
valuable information just there.
And these are people who've built companies like yours. These are people who've been down the path. And each judge, they don't have to sign their names, but 3/4 of them do. So now you have mentors, you have people who are interested in your companies you can contact, and you know what their expertise is. Even if they don't sign their names, they describe, for example, that they are expert in marketing or that they're expert in finance, so that you know to take their marketing or finance questions very seriously.
Now, don't stop on the next page. It sounds like then, for a few $100, maybe most of the people could get this kind of feedback on their idea, which is incredible. Okay, I'll go back.
And this is the kind of thing that if you went to somebody, to a business coach, this is the kind of thing that would cost $1,000. Right? Now, there's certain business coaching which is subsidized and available to most people. Right, which is accounting, or the U.S. government actually has a number of excellent programs, which I'm sure are available in your reference in your book. But they tend to cover sort of basic business structure. My folks, very unusual. They've actually built multiple bottom line companies, which is different from people who run mainstream companies. It's a different expertise.
Right. But not only that, I mean, particularly now, I feel more people are getting into not just making a buck and how to, make the world a little better too, and they can do both, and that's what seems what you guys really aim at.
So there's 2 rounds. There's a short plan round, and then some of those folks are invited into the long plan round.
So after the 5 to 8 pages,
right,
then
a certain percentage of those companies will be invited into the full plan round, which is there's no 10 to 25 pages. And then the process repeats. The plan is sent out to another set of judges, different judges usually, unless they specifically requested to see what happened to the plan. And they get the same general quantity of feedback.
So these are the more promising ones, is that what you were saying? Yeah. So all of them that make this first round.
Not everybody will be invited to submit the first round.
Okay, right. I understand.
So
right.
Some
but once you pay,
and
then that's you don't pay up to that point, so it doesn't matter. Right. So once you pay, you get this at least 10 to 15 people evaluating your thing, and the cream of that goes and gets 10.
And the cream of this come to Washington D.C. in July and present. No, we haven't quite worked that out. We've had. Actually, we're not actually engaged with weirdly, we're mostly engaged with the State Department because they do a lot of overseas business challenges. But we're not very engaged with the government.
Yeah. Why would you be going to your state? Because you're mostly domestic or not?
No, we're mostly international actually. About 45. It's about 50-50 this year so far. Because we have a small amount of cash. So we have a total prize pool of about $100,000. About 75 to 80% of that will be professional services. So 20 hours with a lawyer, 20 hours with an accountant, and about 30 grand of that will be cash.
Right. No, but then also the volunteer time of the exercise.
Yes, the volunteer time is the huge.
Right. That's
I often explain to our interns, don't enter to win. So some people will walk away with $10,000 in cash and $20,000 worth of services.
Right.
That's a very few people. Because people get confused if we had a competition.
Right, exactly.
They wouldn't know what to do.
I mean, to me, for a few $100, I get this 10, 15 people look at it. I mean, where the hell is you going to find that?
Right. And our part of our business model is that our prizes are put up by sponsors who are looking for particular kinds of companies. So we have a clean tech prize. We have a DC prize. I'm working on a New York prize and a public health prize and an Africa prize.
It also seems interesting. It's also a potential partner or...
Right. So if there are companies out there that want to identify new companies in public health, sustainable agriculture, DC, San Francisco, Chicago, what have you.
So you're a farm team.
Right. I explained that we're a minor league talent scout.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Wow. And so if you want to identify those, you put up some infrastructure money for us. This is how I make a living.
I see.
In reading earlier comments about foundations, we're a charity. We're not Ford or MacArthur.
Right.
And then you put up the prize, which can be whatever you want.
Right. Oh, that's great.
And this is more or less how we make the money. Is that our sponsors are interested in using us to identify. Many of our sponsors are investors.
Yeah, so you're headhunters.
Yes, we're headhunters for excellent entrepreneurs who are going to make money for investors.
Right.
One of the challenges in the field of banking and impact investing, and in any area where you loan money, is that somebody who's going to invest money in you is going to spend money once and invest money later. Because do you know what due diligence is?
Yes.
So an investor might see 400 business plans a year. They might spend due diligence money on between 25 and 40 of them, which is that they will hire my old MBA classmates, the people in less interesting suits, to go and run through the numbers, and and they're spending money on these companies.
Right.
And then they will only invest in 3 to 5 of them.
Right.
This is it's a small percentage. Yeah. So we are reducing the cost of due diligence for our partners. Right. Because even though I'm not flying to Namibia to look at the factory, I mean, I would love to. Fly me out to Uganda or Kenya or India. I'm not opposed to that. Yeah. I'm just saying that's not currently in our budget. We have a lot of very smart people who are asking a lot of very tough questions about their business model.
Yeah, so you get the data. Yeah. And then they have the data who are looking for ventures like this to possibly partner with or buy or or get into in the future. Well, that's terrific. And now this happens every year?
Every year.
Right? So if you miss it this year, you can get in the pile next year.
Right. And we have 2 other programs.
Okay.
Because one of the things or 3 other programs actually. One of the things that we want to make sure that we do is it's not a win and done competition. So one of my concerns with a lot of the business plan competitions out there is you win, you get the oversized check, and which, by the way, you can cash if you print them on the right paper.
Oh, really? The big ones?
Yeah.
No
but
kidding.
you have to print them on the right paper. There's a whole. They have to have the security coding.
Right.
Yeah. How I learned this.
I get it right.
It was legal.
Yeah.
And then you never hear from them again.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're building a community of entrepreneurs.
Right.
One of the things that's different about the companies we work with is they're not necessarily competitive, even if they're in the same industry, because they all want. I mean, all right, we get 2 people selling the same product in Chicago. Maybe they want to be the number 1, and they're perfectly happy with the other one being number 2. But in my case, I get the great joy of connecting people in Cambodia and Chicago and Pakistan and LA who are all doing the same work, right? And they share stories.
So you're also providing a clearinghouse for these people.
We connect them, we follow up with them. On our website is a map of about 200 companies that are still in business that we've worked with. That may not seem like a lot, but over 10 years,
that's terrific.
About 300 of our companies lasted more than a year, and about 200 of them are still running out of 700.
Wow.
So if you think about...
for venture capital, that's incredible. And particularly they're coming to you before even they started in business or had money or whatever. So what are the other 2 items quickly?
So we have a mentor network, and what we have we're calling green grabs.
So is that the mentor network, the first one?
No, the mentor network is that outside of the so most of our feedback comes through the competition.
Yes.
It's our main system.
Right.
But if we have other entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who want to come back to us through relationships they haven't built through the competition, on our website there's a list of about 40 or 50 folks, and we're hoping to make it a list of a couple hundred whenever I find the time.
Right.
Who you can contact for a small fee, usually $10 to $50.
That's terrific.
And if they don't get back to you, you're not charged anything.
Right.
But if they do get back to you, I get 80% of that, and then the platform gets 20%. Right. It's a company called OneLeap. They're great.
Yeah.
And these are very specific experts. So these aren't questions like how do I raise money or general questions, which they would go to one of your books for.
Right.
These are like, I'm trying to build off-the-grid solar in Uganda. Who are the 3 people I talk to? Right.
Yeah. Well, that's terrific.
Right. And so we have a lot of world-class experts in very specific things, but because we know where our entrepreneurs are coming from, we can reference them.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful.
The other is, you're familiar with the show Shark Tank?
Yes.
Okay, so we do a similar thing. It's called Green Grabs because we didn't want to get sued.
Right.
Dolphin Tank was taken by an
it.
excellent group called Springboard. And it's friendly. It's an hour. Each person gets an hour to present. You present. There's the Q&A. And then the investors talk about the deal in front of an audience and the camera as if the entrepreneur wasn't there. It's a really rare chance to see inside a deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been involved in investment or venture or angel, but it's this huge mysterious process because people don't know why they were chosen.
Exactly.
And so we're trying to make that public. Now, these are very small amounts. This is $5,000, $20,000, $50,000.
That's terrific.
And if people want to apply to present, the information's on our website, William James Foundation.
Is there a charge for applying?
No.
No. Oh, really? Huh. So
you might have to actually buy a ticket to the event, but it's essentially $100. But that's only if you're selected. So there's no charge to apply. It's free to apply.
That's the important thing.
There's only about 3 slots per quarter. Like this is not unlike the competition where we work with hundreds. This is like
few. Right.
And because I have to recruit the right investors, I pick not necessarily the best companies, but the companies that are the best fit for the investors we have. Because it turns out what it's harder to do is get people who are willing to drop $5,000 on the spot.
Yeah.
There's more companies out there who are willing to pitch for that.
Right.
And it has to be an amount of money that will get them to a discernible next stage, like a prototype.
Right.
And so since we're working in fairly small...
Well, again, you're a farm league for these people.
Exactly. Minor league talent scout for companies that are going to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Well, that's terrific. I'm glad you're here doing this stuff. Yeah. Is it great stuff? See, how would you know about this stuff? And you see, it's all the questions you ask. Thank you.